welcome everyone. This is the Martuscello audio show. I'm David Martuscello, and this is my co-host, my brother Josiah Martuscello. And we're here to bring it to you real and hot and fast and all those good adjectives. So we had our first episode, or our 0th episode last week. It was kind of a trial run. This is our first official episode, so hope you enjoy.
So while David gives a little intro about what we've been up to, I'm going to be brewing some oolong tea. So
yeah, we got some.
Let's
let's check out the setup here. We
yeah,
got some,
sweet. So I got a little gung fu set here.
Gung fu.
Gung fu. I believe it's Chinese, like traditional way of brewing tea. But effectively, you have a little tiny teapot, and then a couple tiny cups, and you basically just steep the tea as many times as you can. Get different flavors. Feel very fancy.
Yes, very.
So yeah.
All right, what kind of tea do you have?
This is a Phoenix oolong I got from a friend. I actually got it last summer, but I haven't had any of it in a while, and I'm kind of been craving it. So
this is like, is it like aged or is it?
No. So it's
just,
I believe it's from somewhere. I want to say it's in Brooklyn, some little tea shop down there.
Brooklyn, they grow good tea in Brooklyn.
Yeah, great tea. Yeah, no, I think it's Chinese. Might be Taiwanese. This doesn't say on here.
Cool.
I have it somewhere.
Well, here's the wrapper.
Yeah,
some good stuff.
Good stuff.
I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know if it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But this guy says it's good. So.
Yeah, it's tasty.
He's
this
the
was
tea
much
man.
more full a while ago. So
Yeah, Josiah works at a tea shop, so
yeah,
over the past 2 years, is that?
three summers.
3 summers, he's been
2.5.
learning all of the ways of Camellia sinensis, as it is called.
Yeah.
By fancy people.
But anyway, continue with
Yeah, I guess we're just
catching us
gonna
up.
catch everybody up on what we've been doing for the past week. So the thing that brought me up to Saratoga this week, and the reason that we can both be here in the studio, normally I live in New York, and my family's home, where my brother lives, is in Saratoga Springs. So it's a couple hour drive. I came up here to do a hike of Mount Marcy, and so we that was the plan.
Yeah.
And due to weather and realizations that none of us had hiked much this year,
Yeah.
we decided against going for the
16
full kahuna of Marcy.
16-mile hike.
Yeah, it was a little
Daunting.
overambitious of us. You know, once you start planning it out, it's like maybe we're a little overambitious in our plans. But yeah, so we were gonna do Big Slide Mountain, which is slightly shorter. It's like at least 8 and up to 9.5 miles, depending on the route you take. But we got there, and the parking lot was full. There was like 30 cars, and that's it. It's like we were too late. All the spots are taken. So it was tough luck for us. So we had to change our plans, and we hiked Giant Mountain. And it actually turned out to be really good. I had already hiked Giant, but hiking it again was, it was actually a good experience because I could compare to the last time.
Right.
Because like the first time I hiked Giant, it was in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
and even though it was really warm at the base, at the top of the mountain it was freezing cold.
Oh.
Because Giant is basically like a bowl shape, as you know, and
Right.
so the wind just comes into the bowl and like funnels over the top. And
Yeah, you're kind of standing on the top ridge of like a. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a curved.
Yeah, it's like a half of a bowl.
Yeah, half a
and,
bowl.
And the wind just comes over that bowl.
Yeah, it was breezy.
And
for
just
sure.
blows into your face. So like if it's a cold day at all, then you're gonna be chilly. But
Right.
luckily it was nice and toasty warm, but with the sun, so it kind of canceled each other out. Let's see if I have any pictures of that while you do the gung fu.
Got some leaves in there. You'll be all right. Should make it. Oh yeah, that's real tasty. Sweet. Yeah. Do you have did you have any photos from the first time you guys hiked it?
I don't know where they are, but
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Actually, you went with some of your friends from college, right? Yep. So I went. We ended up passing. I mean, we went the same route. So I actually fell in the stream in the same spot that one of your friends did, right?
Yep. So this is a picture of us on the mountain.
Went with our dad. That's what we've been up to. So so that's kind of why you came up.
Right.
Just to hike the tallest peak in the Adirondacks,
Yeah,
and
plans
then
kind of changed.
kind of
But
downsize it.
it was really great. Perfect day and everything.
Yeah.
So we got to hike the Adirondacks more for sure.
Mm-hmm. But and it was actually the first time I got to use my new Vibrams 5 fingers. Yeah. So they're the KSO Evos. So if you don't know what 5 fingers are, they're the
toe shoes.
Toe shoes, basically. Yeah, these shoes with separate toes, super thin soles, so there's no drop, no raised heel. It's way better for your feet. It's better for your joints and everything.
Right. Do you want to go into that just a bit?
Yeah, sure.
So
I kind of got
reasoning
them. I
behind
got them for running because it's way better. Like running, the way you actually run with barefoot shoes is you land on your toe and then your heel. So normally with like Nikes or whatever, cushioned running shoes, you're gonna land heel toe, and that's all like. Just most of the impact. I mean, the reason there's such a thick cushion there is because there's a ton of impact there. You're essentially just landing straight on your heel, and your leg. None of your muscles are actually dealing with that the way that they should be. Like the initial impact. So your quads are kind of absorbing some, because otherwise your knee would just buckle and then you'd fall to the ground. Like if you've ever played quap.
Well, but that's when you get a knee injury. It's your quads, right? So
sure. I don't know. I've never
or
gotten
something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like it's the muscles around your knee that are like bracing that.
Yeah,
impact.
they're real. So your knee
all
is
just
taking all
goes
the
into your
impact,
knee.
and the actual joint is pushing together.
Right.
And yeah. So basically, the idea with the barefoot shoes is your foot absorbs the impact correctly. So your foot can kind of grab, you land on the ball and the toes of your feet first, and then your foot absorbs that like it's supposed to.
It's like a spring.
Yeah.
Your foot is kind of like a...
Yeah. But you have to be
spring.
careful to kind of gradually get into it, because you can get plantar fasciitis, which is like the tendons in the bottom of your foot like get all mangled.
Oh. I might have a little bit
because you
of
ran
that.
too hard. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if you go a lot, if you go barefoot when you're not used to it,
Yeah.
that can happen. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, I kind of... Well, I don't know. I get this thing a lot when I go hiking where my one foot like gets hurt right in the arch of it.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
probably
the
it's
same
probably a
foot
little
every
bit of
time,
that.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
probably
you
some of that.
should do some
I was thinking about doing some
barefoot
physical
training.
therapy or something, but
Yeah.
to like see if I can fix it,
Right,
train
right.
up to it. But yeah. But I've been doing a little bit of yoga, so I feel like that might
Right.
help with the balance and the,
Oh, that's strong.
because you do that barefooted, so
Right.
that might help. But
Yeah.
But this, I don't know. What did you think of the high peaks? I guess I mean they're great.
I mean, I've only done Cascade and Porter, I think, which are two of. I don't know if they're the two lowest, but they're two of the lower ones.
Yeah, they're the easy ones.
So I guess
Yeah,
high peaks are defined as over 4,000 feet.
yes.
So they're not even 4,100 feet. Like they're right on the cusp. Those are the only ones I think I've done.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got
I haven't done many either. Honestly.
3 of 46 down. But yeah, no, I mean it was beautiful. You can the view. I like that they're all kind of like condensed in the same area, because you're like, oh, like there's that one I want to do. I gotta do that one, that one, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some more of that. Fall's coming up,
strong.
but we're probably not gonna be around much, so we're gonna have to do remote podcasts.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll have to figure that out, but we'll see. See how all the miking setup goes.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, this is pretty good. You want to pour another?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Pour another
If there's any noise complaints, it's the kettle is going.
Kettle's bubbling away.
Yeah, we'll try and keep it minimal. But anyway, what else is? Oh, you want to talk about the song?
Yes. So, also during this week, the thing we've been working on, other than the hike, was a little song that we put together. We've been jamming. We have our little studio set up down here with like a drum set and pianos and stuff, and guitars. And we were like, wait a second. We should write a song based on Monty Python. There's like
I don't know how.
Well, because we just thought of the the scene.
Right.
Where it's the scene where in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where there's an angry mob, and they're bringing this woman to the authorities to have her burned because they are convinced she's a witch.
Yeah.
And so they're like, she's a witch, we gotta burn her.
Yeah. It's
And
probably
then
one of the more famous
they're
scenes.
they're lobbing accusations at her
Aside from
about
the
why
Black
she's
Knight
a
and
witch.
stuff.
And then they're like, how do you know she's a witch? And then the one guy in the crowd yells out, she turned me into a newt. And so that was like the basis of our song.
Yeah, I
So-
think we were just jamming a little, and I quoted it, or you quoted it, or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And we were,
And we're
just,
like,
and I was
we
like,
should write a
I
song
gotta sample
about
that.
Yeah. And so
I
we
say
did.
that like daily.
So
but
we're
we
gonna
actually did
we're gonna
it.
be releasing a song based on that. So
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Monty Python, stay tuned for "She's a Witch" by the
Working
Cast and
title.
Roll
Yeah.
band. We also need a name for our band. So
That's
if you got
true.
any ideas?
If any suggestions, leave them in the comments below.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, those are the big updates. That's a little summary of what's going on. But today, I think the main topic is cooking.
Cooking.
So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
go for
yeah.
it.
So I kind of just wanted to. Okay, so because I'm going to be going back to school in a couple weeks, and cooking is a big, difference being home and being, at my own apartment.
right, because mom cooks.
Yeah, when
All
I'm
your
living
meals
at
here.
home over the summers, so I don't really have to think about what I'm eating too much.
Right.
But also I've been trying to eat a lot more, hit the gym a little. So I gotta kind of keep in mind what I'm eating.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of just wanted to talk about it a little. I know you've been in your apartment in the city for a while. I'm sure that has its own adaptations
For
being
sure.
in that setup.
Yep.
But yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk about it a little. But I figured I'd give a little background of my history of cooking,
Yeah.
and we could talk about our past casting role and internet sensations.
Right.
So originally, probably one of the earliest. Well, for a while, so when we were younger, we watched. We weren't really that much into cartoons. Well, we were, but I would say the main thing I watched on TV was Food Network. So
One
it
of
had
them,
I mean you as well, probably
a decent amount.
a decent amount. I think I probably maybe I watched more than you. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know how to measure that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we always were watching Chopped and
Good Eats.
Good Eats. Good Eats is the
Good Eats
best one.
Foundation.
Yeah,
It's coming back too for all you Good
Really?
Eats fans. They're rebooting it.
Sweet.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. That's the news.
Well, that and Discovery Channel we watched a lot. But yeah, so Food Network. So I was really into cooking. I liked the idea of cooking shows. It's kind of fun to watch somebody make food and then be like, oh, that looks so good. I really want some food. So
Yeah, and also I think we kind of enjoyed cooking because mom, is very good at cooking.
Yeah.
So we would kind of watch her and help out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I remember coming up with recipes when I was little and they were totally horrible. You couldn't even call them recipes, but they were just I wrote down on a piece of paper 3 things and then was I made a recipe. And
I wish we had some of those
gave them
this
some
show.
silly names. One time, if you guys have ever had cheese nips, they're like Cheez-Its but worse. And
Yep. That's
I was
right.
I'm gonna make cheese nips from scratch, which is I don't even know that's possible.
They're
you
not
need,
even made out of food.
Monosodium glutamate and all these soda,
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
sucralose and all this other stuff. It didn't turn into anything. It was some mush. But yeah, that was the kind of
Or
stuff
there was
you
one
do
time.
as a kid. You
Yeah.
you're I can make cookies, and you just throw a whole bunch of shit in there. And
Yeah. Try it out.
Call it
There was one time
meal.
I remember we tried to make not oatmeal, granola.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we made granola.
it was
I don't know
brilliant. A
why.
brilliant idea.
Yeah, we were granola is so good. It's so simple. You can when you look at granola, you're I know what's in it. It's got a peanut
Right,
there. That's
right.
a little oat.
Yeah, and I think we were kind of going for like the Nature Valley bar.
Yeah,
like,
because we
granola
ate
bars.
that
where
was
it's
like
kinda
our daily food at that time. I'm so
Sure,
sick of them
yeah.
now. I
where,
mean, I ate one
where it's like
yesterday, though.
compressed. It's compressed into like a bar of granola, where
Yeah.
you can still see everything, but it's
Yeah, but it's like
pretty
got a
simple.
shape. Yeah, and we were like, okay, we could do that. Like homemade, it'd be even better.
yeah.
So we went. I don't know why we decided to go to the park.
Well, because it was a nice summer day, summer
Yeah.
vacation. We were always like,
This was probably like
let's
8 years ago.
Let's come up with some ideas for stuff.
Probably like 8 years ago, maybe 10.
Yeah, roughly. I
It was a
don't know.
long time ago.
Let's just say it was a long time ago, because that'll make us
Yeah.
feel more mature now.
Mm.
But
yeah, that's true. Distance ourselves from it.
really, it was like 2 years. No, just kidding. But,
Wait, no, this happened like a couple weeks ago.
So yeah, we packed up our backpacks with our idea was like, okay, well, we want to go to the park,
Right.
and we want to make granola bars, so let's do it together.
Yeah.
So we're like, we'll cook the granola bars because they have to be cooked, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
According
really,
to
I
our
don't-
logic.
I still don't know how to make granola bars.
Yeah, I don't.
We didn't ever learn.
I think we did it wrong.
But I think our logic was also we couldn't use the grill here, or we didn't have a good grill,
Maybe
or we didn't want to use the oven. Why didn't we use an oven? That makes way more sense.
Right,
You don't
right.
grill it.
That's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
I think it
I
was
don't
just
think-
like an excuse because we're like, let's
Yeah,
go
we're
outside.
like, we'll go outside to the park.
And cook granola bars.
Yeah. We were pretty young. We were dumb. So
we were.
let's distance ourselves as far as possible. We were
Yeah.
like 6 years old. No, we
Yeah.
weren't. So we biked over to the park, past
Right,
like
right.
Spack and stuff.
Yeah.
If you know where it's at, I don't know. So we biked over. It's like 15-minute bike ride, 20 minutes. And we found this little thing by a stream where they had, one of those rack charcoal grills. So we must have brought charcoal on it.
Yeah,
we
we
brought like
charcoal,
everything.
lighter fluid, matches, everything.
Yeah, and probably some apples. I don't know, some other stuff too. Was that the only food we made? I really hope we brought other food because
Yeah.
it didn't turn out to be food. But so our idea was like, did we prepare it here? I think we prepared it here.
I don't think so, but
Just
maybe.
remembering like the smell of it. It was
I
so
haven't
bad.
thought about this in a long time.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so no, we brought aluminum foil because we're like, you're cooking on the grill. That's what you use. And then we brought like oatmeal for the oats. We brought honey to like glue all the stuff together. I don't know what else.
Well,
because
the
Maybe
with
almonds
the
or
Nature
something.
Valley, it's like honey and
right,
oats.
it's called oats and honey.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, those are the ingredients, oats and honey. It's easy.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
So we're
Did
like,
you-
yeah, but it's not
did
just
we-
oats and honey. You got to cook it. So we had to grill it. I don't know, man.
So we made like this giant like patty. Is that all we put in it? We must have put like
I don't know. We put some other pecans or something.
maybe something
some
else.
wheat germ.
Maybe some. So we basically had a tinfoil thing. We put a bunch of oatmeal on it, uncooked oatmeal, right? Yeah, just
Yeah.
oats, and then squirted a bunch of honey on it. Kind of like mushed it together, right?
Yeah. We just like made like folded
Yeah, like
the
a bar.
tinfoil
Yeah,
around
it was-
into like a bar shape.
It would have been kind of like how Cliff Bars are like that kind of like patty shape.
Yeah.
They're kind of not really a shape.
They're
I don't really know.
oblate, rectangular.
They're just in a package and they didn't do any work to make them solid. So
Yeah.
So it kind of turned out to be like a giant Cliff Bar. It's more like a Cliff Bar than the Nature
It
Valley,
wasn't
really.
giant. It was,
Well, but it was
we
like
made them like about Cliff Bar.
it was
size,
that was a
actually.
lot of oatmeal and honey.
Such
Just
a waste.
gone to waste. So we basically put it on the grill. Didn't have any idea what was happening. We just put it there, hanging out in the
Well,
park.
I mean, it's not some
it's not
climactic
like-
thing. It's just we ended up with burnt oats and honey, and it was like
in
nasty.
tinfoil, yeah. And it was quite burnt because we were like, it's not hard yet, it's not done,
Right. It just never turned into anything edible until it was burnt, and then it wasn't.
and then
edible
it
either.
still wasn't edible.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Anyway,
that's an example of our history.
our
with
history with cooking. Yeah. And then later on, we made Josiah Eats Food.
Right. So this is like the next era.
Yeah. This is when we were like, okay, we got to get serious about this. We got to monetize this.
Right.
Our clear culinary abilities. We got to make a real thing out of this.
Right.
So that's on the channel we're putting this out on is Casting Roll.
Yeah. So that was the same summer we invented casting roll, which was intended to be like our video platform, where we're gonna put all these
I was
short
thinking our YouTube
films
channel.
that we
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
and it was when we were getting into YouTube, so we're like, we're gonna be YouTubers, and like
Like everyone has said, it's
release our own films and like sketch comedy, and
Mhm.
we had all these plans. That
Yeah,
never-
we have like there's probably like 20 different Google Docs we have of like ideas for casting role videos.
yeah. But Josiah Eats Food was kind of like
I think
the
I think
inciting
that was
video.
like the first thing we made.
Right.
Originally, I don't know how much it was supposed to be funny, because I think it was a little. We kind of knew, because in the first episode, you hear me say, I go, welcome to Josiah Eats Food on Food Network. Like I was pretending it was a real show. Like
Right,
clearly
right.
it wasn't like a real thing.
Well, that's part of why it's actually funny, is because
I can't tell.
like we're trying to be serious, but like we just can't.
Yeah,
'cause we're like
and I'm
12
in front of
years
a
old.
camera. I'm just giggling the entire time.
Yeah.
There's like there's more outtakes than there is usable footage.
For sure.
Yeah, so that was we had a couple episodes of that, and it gradually got better. Production got better.
Yep.
David was the cameraman / producer / most other things, and I was the
Everything, yeah.
guy who looked stupid in front of the camera and pretended to know what he was doing. But yeah, so that was
So yeah, they're all on our YouTube channel. You can check those out at Casting Roll.
the Spanish edition one. That was a school
Yeah,
project.
For all those Spanish listeners that can't understand what we're
Hola.
saying. Hola. You got that part.
They're like, why did they just say hola? I don't know.
So yeah, we haven't done a Josiah Eats Food in a while. We've thought about kind of
People keep
rebooting it.
telling us to bring it back, but I think we're past that era. That was an era, and I think we've
Yeah, at least for now.
at least for now
that's-
we're on to volcanoes
That's on
and
hiatus.
shit.
Yeah, we got other stuff.
Yeah, bigger
Podcast is like
bigger
next.
proverbial fish to fry.
Mm.
Maybe we could do a fried fish episode.
Sounds
So
pretty-
maybe that was a spoiler hint.
Tonight's Josiah Eats Food. We're cooking some proverbial fish.
Yeah. So that's some background. I don't know. Yeah, but I kind of just wanted to talk about cooking, because that's something I'm interested in. I feel like I have been for a while, but I've never been like very good at it. It's not like my thing, but it's like I'm decent and I'm interested.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of just want to talk about like we were talking about recipes before, but there's kind of two different modes of thinking with cooking, because a lot of people, like, I've talked to people, if I was like cooking something, I mean, this doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you're cooking something and somebody's like, oh man, I wish I could cook. I'm terrible at cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think I'm terrible at cooking too. Like, I don't know that there's actually that much that I'm doing that I can do that someone else can't do. I don't have any actual skills that anyone else doesn't have.
Right.
And it's not like I'm a great chef. I make like meals and then they taste decent.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, that was good, thanks.
Yeah.
But I just think it's interesting that there's kind of I think there's two modes of thinking about it, in that you can think of it in terms of, oh, well, I'm so bad at following recipes. It's hard. You got to measure everything. You got to have all the tools. You got to have everything. And then there's kind of just like improv cooking. Like, you just make it up as you go. That's kind of how I usually go.
Right, because that's how our mom
It's easier.
cooks.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's how our mom cooks.
She definitely inspired us to use that method. She rarely follows recipes, except for maybe the first time you cook something.
Or if it's
to
like
learn how to cook it.
baking,
Right,
something where
baking,
there's
you
like,
kinda
you
have
got to
to.
get the yeast right.
Right,
I don't know
right,
what
right.
yeast is, man.
Yeah, this tea is good.
Yeah.
What kind
The
is it,
second
oolong?
steep I let go way too long,
Is
but
it
this is
oolong?
much better.
Okay.
It's oolong,
Gotta
yeah.
remember.
Oolong. It's gonna be a little loud for a second, folks. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that difference there.
Right.
Like, is it where do you think it's important to focus on recipe versus just making things up?
So I think it's probably like there are two skills that have to. So maybe I'd call it like technical versus intuitive or something like that.
Okay.
Where like you can get pretty far in cooking just by doing it a lot and seeing what works and what doesn't. Like,
Right.
oh, this dried up, so I
Right.
need to add more water next time.
Right.
Or this burnt, so I need to turn down the heat next time.
Right, or move it around more.
Yeah, and you can kind of learn that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can get pretty far with basic dishes, you know what I mean? Like cooking different meats and veggies and stuff.
I'm
Most,
pretty much
most
there.
techniques are about that balance. Or sorry, most cooking is about like
How much
making
heat?
sure, like
Yeah.
most of the time when you mess up cooking, it's like, oh, there was too much water, there was not enough water. That's like the biggest mistake, or too much heat, not enough heat.
Right.
et
Too much
cetera.
butter.
Right, and then you
Right.
get into seasonings and flavors,
Right.
where you can have too salty or not salty enough,
Right.
and
Right.
the right balance of spices, or like too much spices or not enough spices.
Mhm.
That's kind of
Right.
getting that balance right. I feel like is more intuition and practice, where it's like, yeah, if you just cook something 5 times, you're gonna get better over those 5 times, and you're gonna kind of get that in your head as far
Right.
as now I'm better at cooking.
Mhm.
But then there's a whole nother technical rung of it, where it's like you have to actually like study and like, that's when you start reading recipes or watching videos about cooking techniques, like
Right.
sauteing and
Sous vide.
sous vide. Yeah, that's
Sous vide is that one's. I've heard that's the one you can't
super
mess
cool.
up. Well, if you like get
Really?
the setup right, because you can't
right, but the
because
setup is like complicated, right?
well the setup is like you just need to. I mean, you just gotta like buy the right thing.
Right. So sous vide, if I'm
Sous
correct,
vide-
it's like when you want really tender meat.
Yeah, it's like you cook the meat. It's like the slowest way to cook meat. You basically like put it in like a heat proof bag or whatever, so the bag's not gonna like melt. And then you put put like chicken or whatever in there. I don't know if it has to be like vacuum sealed. I'm not positive, but you basically would put like I think it's done with like veal a lot.
Yeah, it probably couldn't be just like a Ziploc
Or like
bag, because
lamb.
then it would
Yeah, you can't use. Yeah.
pop open.
Yeah, I would say don't use that. But you basically boil. Well, you don't boil. You put it at the exact temperature you need. I think it's like
So you got to
130
have
or something.
something where you can set the temperature.
Right. Yeah, you gotta have a really specific temperature
So
and
like
like
a pressure cooker.
A lot of times you use like an induction heater. It's not induction. Whatever. Like the you like dunk the heater in and that has the
right.
thing on it. So that's kind of
Yeah.
the thing you have to invest in. That and like the bags. But you can just do it in a pot.
Okay.
And then it heats it up, and basically it's like the slowest way to cook it. It takes like I don't know, like an hour, a couple hours. I don't really know.
Couple hours,
I've never done it,
probably,
but that's that's one.
Yeah.
That's like I've heard that's like you're gonna get
Yeah.
like really good food out of it.
Right. Well, cooking stuff slow is good as long as you have enough moisture.
Right.
I think
Well,
that's,
have you heard?
because-
That's funny. you
because
said
like when you cook slow, like in a slow cooker,
Right.
everything turns out good. It's like
that. It's
it's all crumbly and like the flavors mix together.
yeah.
and
It just melts in your mouth.
it's like
yeah.
I made Thanksgiving a couple years ago. I made mac and cheese in the slow cooker,
Ooh.
and like it was perfect.
I'll have to get a slow cooker.
Yeah, it's like
The thing is, I have a rice cooker. That kind of functions like a slow cooker. But I don't know if you can't really make soup or anything in there, like stew.
you can,
Can you?
but I don't
'Cause
know.
it's got
I don't
like
know
a
if it gets
s-
it
it's got
has
like
a
a
low
slow
enough setting.
It's got like a slow cook setting.
Oh well, then
But I don't know if that's like.
same thing.
I guess yeah. It's just a hot bucket.
Yeah, hot bucket, exactly. It's more a matter of like how can you control the heat?
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Because I was also looking into pressure cookers
Mm.
and like how those compare to rice cookers. Because some people cook rice in pressure cookers or rice
Oh,
cookers, or you can just cook in a pot. But
Right.
um,
I use the
and-
rice cooker.
I researched it a little, and they basically said like, yeah, it cooks either way. You can do either way. I was like, which is better? And they're like,
They're like,
it's-
I don't know.
it's
It's rice,
cooked.
man.
It's cooked, like
It just gets hot.
right.
It's wet and hot.
It's
Like,
not
what do you
rocket
want?
science. But I mean, it gives you more control with
Right.
the pressure cooker because you
Right.
can set the settings. and
That's
stuff.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about pressure cookers. Okay, but okay, slow cooking stuff though.
Yeah.
What's like, I know very little about it. Dry aging. Is like, do you know anything about that?
No,
No.
not at all.
Sweet. We're very great. Well, yeah.
Cooking,
Cooking.
good stuff.
Good stuff.
Okay.
You know how to slow cook things. No, No, I kind of but I wanted to get into
Well, but while we're in the dry and wet thing, it's interesting because I think moisture is the key, right? Because slow cooking, it's like moisture for a long time, but with like meats, like for example, when you cook a turkey, the thing I learned is you want to cook it really high,
right, so it doesn't dry out.
so it doesn't dry out.
Okay,
Because
interesting.
like some people are like cook it low and
Low and
for like 5 hours,
700 hours
but then it dries up.
all day.
Even if you do the basting, you're really just coating the outside. You're still gonna dry out the meat on the inside.
Right,
So
right.
basting, no, you got to brine to get the moisture in the meat,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why marinating is so good for all meats. I think it's just like marinating
Yeah,
is
that's good.
always a good thing. You can have the cheapest meat, and if you marinate it for a day, then
It's gonna be way better.
yeah. So moisture is really critical.
Goes more?
No, I'm good.
Tea break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let me
So,
give my 2
that's just
cents
my
on
spiel
dry
on
aging.
moisture.
I guess dry aging is just you have some meat. I'm probably so wrong, and I think you like salt it or you like somehow you like keep it so it doesn't rot, but you kind of just let it rot, and then like the outside like dries up, and then
Well, it probably
it's
doesn't rot,
it's
it
like
just
it's like
dries.
controlled fermentation.
So is it
You can
actually
leave it for, like-
fermenting? Like
I
it'll
think
have
so.
a bitter fermented taste.
I don't know.
to it, or-
Well, I don't know if it's considered fermenting, but it's like you're effectively rotting it.
Well,
I
it sounds
guess.
like salted meat, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
what
let
they
me-
did
here, let me-
back
let me look
in the
up-
day to preserve meat? They just
They
cover
just
it in salt, and then it dries up, and then it's like,
Dry
oh,
aged
this will
beef.
last a long time, like kind of like jerky.
Beef aging.
Because I know,
They say a couple weeks.
like with the jerky machine, you gotta provide heat, right?
Right. Let me see.
Or like
Yeah.
with smoking meats.
The process of dry aging usually also this is Wikipedia. It also promotes growth of certain fungal mold species on the external surface of the meat. This does not cause spoilage, but rather forms an external crust on the meat's surface, which is trimmed off when the meat is prepared for cooking. These fungal species complement the natural enzymes in the beef by helping them tenderize and increase the flavor of the meat. You can also have wet aged beef. That sounds gross. It's just like
That's just rotten beef that some people like to eat.
yeah.
That's
there you
cool
go.
though,
That's only for hyenas. Yeah.
because like fermented stuff is very rare in America. I feel like.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's a lot harder. It's not. There's not really any American staples that are fermented.
Well, other than like beer and stuff, but
Oh.
yeah, as far as food goes,
I guess.
it's like the fermentation is not mainstream. Whereas like my wife is Korean, and so she cooks a lot. She cooks about half the meals in our house,
Right.
and so I sort of had to adapt. There's like a lot of fermented foods in Korea
Right.
because like kimchi, which is like their main side dish, I guess they have it at most meals, like on the side of the table for you,
Yeah.
for you to eat, and along with your main meal. And it's like it's a fermented kind of like pickle thing. I guess pickles are pickles fermented? Not really.
They're pickled.
They're pickled.
I don't know if I don't know if it's
right.
considered. Well, how long? Can
Yeah, I
you
don't-
can
I don't
pickle
think they're
pickles for as
fermented.
long as you want,
That's
right?
weird.
I don't know.
I don't know, but they're not. They're not.
We're really showing our intelligence in this episode.
Yeah, we're experts. You can tell.
Let's
But-
talk about cooking. We
Yeah.
both are so
Ugh,
knowledgeable. We've had a cooking show. We made granola one time.
based on our experience having a cooking show on Food Network.
Basically, Bobby Flay.
Yeah, pretty much. But like anyway, there's like all these different types of kimchi,
Yeah.
and then there's all these other side dishes that are fermented, and like it's kind of weird because like we think of things like, oh, it has mold on it, it's bad, but like they're like, oh no, just take the mold off and then eat the rest of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they don't eat mold like, by the spoonful, but like I don't know how it works, but like the fermented
so-
stuff in the food is
Right.
good for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like
Probiotics.
tastes good and stuff once you get used to it.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah, because I guess, yeah, like miso.
Right.
Miso soup is like a fermented bean or something. something like that. It's like you have to like put it in a jar and
Yeah, I
like keep
think
it
that's right.
dark. It's like you're like colonizing it with this
there's a lot of
goofy stuff. Yeah.
fermented stuff. And
Well, it's interesting. We're drinking tea.
well, you know, it's really because it's good for preserving things. Like kimchi,
Right.
you can leave out, you know, and it'll rot, but the rotting is like part of the food. So you're like, yeah, that's just how it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's like almost like an excuse to eat rotted food. It's like in
It's like
America,
no. We planned this.
yeah, like in the European cultures, we'd all die because like we're like, I'm not gonna eat this moldy food.
Right. And they're like,
And then in Asia, they're like, I'll eat it. It's fine.
and they're like, oh, it tastes good.
Yeah, let's just make it part of our culture.
Make it spicy. That's funny.
But like, it's really more practical that way because if you don't have refrigeration or if you're in a warm climate, then it's easier to have
Right.
fermented foods.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been a big difference for the past year, a little over a year. I've been living with my wife, EJ, and she's from South Korea, and so she cooks about half the meals. And she cooks almost always. She cooks like Korean food because that's what she's best at.
Right.
I stick to the American. You know, we stick to what we're best at.
Yeah. Granola.
We got the inbred genes for cooking that type of food, I guess. Granola. That's what I make for dinner every night.
Want some oats and
Want some grilled granola? Anyway.
Burnt.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, let's get into that. What else? What else have you noticed? Because I mean, you cook much more Korean food than I do. I mean, I know
Sure.
you stick with American, but
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah, I
But
eat a lot more.
You eat a lot more,
Like
but I'm
half
sure
of
you
the
cook
time.
more than I do too.
Yeah, I don't
You know.
really cook much Korean food though.
Really?
Like, I mean, usually I let her stick to that. Like,
Okay.
I could cook it if I, put a gun to my head, but
Right.
I usually leave that to her just 'cause.
Right. Well, what do you think is? I mean, we talked about fermented foods. What else is kind of different in that?
Yeah. So there are a lot of.
I mean, you
differences.
tend to be more adventurous in food than I am anyway.
Yeah. I'll
you
I'll
eat-
eat pretty much anything now.
Yeah.
I used to be a little more picky.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't eat olives or mushrooms, but now there's
I'm not. I don't.
there's
I eat
not really
mushrooms, but olives
anything I
are
won't eat.
olives are a little too like goopy and salty.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
so
know.
the difference is, I guess we eat a lot of rice, so that's kind of like the staple food. That's
the
like the
pasta of the
foundation.
East.
Even more so, it's like literally the word
Oh, I've heard.
the word food in Korean is the same word as rice. So it's
That's
like
awesome.
it's like assumed that you're eating rice at every meal, pretty much. You know,
It's like, hey, you want to go get some rice with me?
Right, exactly. That's what you're saying. It's like basically the way you eat is you'll have like a little bowl of rice. You know, it's not like massive, but that's kind of like it's kind of like the canvas, and then like the side dishes that you have are like what goes with the rice. So the rice is kind of like a foundation for the other food you're eating.
Right.
So what you'll do is you'll have like a spoon of rice, and then along with it, you'll have a little bit of the side dishes.
Right.
And the side dishes are usually very salty. So like you can balance out the saltiness of the side dishes with
Right.
the rice to kind of like suit your palate and
Yeah.
have
I mean,
them
yeah.
go
When I
together.
went, I remember when you guys made me dinner a couple of months in May or something, beginning of June. It was like it's just shocking how many bowls are on the table. There's like
Right.
30 little tiny cups with like, oh, this has got sesame oil, this has got this has got
Yeah.
like a weird kimchi soup, this has got just kimchi, this has got rice, this has got this other beef soup, this has got just some chicken, this has got like some,
Yeah.
and then you got a plaque with like some sushi on it.
Right. The only thing that's yours is your rice bowl and maybe a bowl of soup, but sometimes we even share the soup bowl.
Right.
And it's like
I mean, you guys are
everything
married,
else,
you can share
everything
whatever.
else is shared.
Right.
And it's really interesting for preparing meals because all these side dishes, you eat some of them every meal, but then you just put it in the fridge and it lasts
Right.
for weeks and weeks because it's all, fermented. Almost
Almost
all
all of it?
is like at least partially fermented, or I think it is. Even if it's not fermented, it's really salty, and salt
Right.
preserves it.
Yeah.
So we'll have it in the
Natural
fridge
preservative.
for at least a month,
Yeah.
and it'll be fine.
Right.
And then
That's
we'll eat it all. But that makes preparing meals a lot different. Whereas in
Right.
America, you have to kind of like every meal is a new thing. You know,
yeah,
it's like
you could cut up a
start from
fresh
scratch.
veggies.
You got to cut everything. You got to prepare it all,
Right.
cook it all, plate it all.
That's
Whereas there,
interesting.
it's like you can really
Isn't
whip
there-
up a
there's-
meal really quick if you have a bunch of side dishes already. You just make one entree.
You
Like,
should make rice.
well, yeah.
You make some food.
Some nights for
Yeah.
for dinner, all we have is rice, and then we take out all the side dishes we have, and that's.
Do you heat a lot of them up, or is it a lot of like rice is hot and everything else is kind of just chucking on, or room temperature?
Yeah, the side dishes are usually cold or room temperature.
Okay. What about the
Um,
soups though?
The soup, I mean, soups, yeah, are hot,
Okay.
but like kimchi is
Gazpacho.
cold and stuff.
Right.
And most of the side dishes, but then
I gotta
yeah,
eat
a
more
lot of times
kimchi.
you'll have like bigger dishes, like meat or something that is
Mhm.
like more of what an American would call a real
Right. Yeah.
entree. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so, you know that it's
Yeah,
a,
it's
it's
a
a very
different
different
paradigm.
style.
Yeah. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, what's up with the? So sushi's like a Japanese thing, right?
Yes.
So is that?
So
How did that get to?
well, in World War II, Japan invaded Korea and China and the Pacific Islands. So,
Right.
During that time, a lot of the Japanese culture came over to Korea, and
Right.
So that there's a lot of intermingling. Also because they're so close to each other, it's like the European nations have a lot of similarities in
Right.
language and in food and everything like that. So it's very similar. It's like there's a lot of similarities, but it's very interesting because there's a feud because of that. Because Japan invaded Korea,
Mhm.
there's like a feud between them. Like you can't. There's certain Japanese things that are kind of like taboo in Korea because
Really?
they're like
Because like that's a Japanese.
Japanese
Thing. Get out of
is like-
here.
they kind of like look down on it because it's
Right.
like
Is
they have a
it
stigma against.
like vice versa?
I assume so. I don't know, but
Like, do you have any examples of
Probably.
that?
well, like they think of Japanese products as being inferior, or
Oh, it's made in China.
yeah,
It's made in Japan.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I
That's
don't
why it broke.
Right. They kind of disparage their craftsmanship and stuff. But even some like Japanese songs can't be played on public radios.
It's
So,
like
like,
illegal.
Yeah, it's
Dang.
like if it's a public PA system or
Oh, because
something
it's like
that.
offensive.
Yeah,
Or it
right.
can be taken as offensive. It's
Right,
like why you can't
to-
swear on.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think
Public
it's an
broadcast.
older tendency, like
Mhm.
more the older population who remembers that. I'm sure the kids these days are pretty agnostic as far as Japanese people.
Right.
That's just
Right.
my assumption,
Right.
and also based on the way EJ is.
Okay.
She
She doesn't really
it's
care.
like there. That's what happened in a previous generation, so it's
Right.
she doesn't really hold it against the Japanese today.
Right.
But it is kind of a lingering thing, kind of maybe like we feel about the Germans. Maybe I don't know. But there's kind of a stigma,
Alert.
about
Right.
Germany. Even if it's like, we don't really care. Like, I'll hang out with
Yeah.
Germans any time of the week. But
We're German.
we're German. Yeah, what the heck? But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like there's like almost a bit of a sensitivity to
right.
it,
Yeah.
or awareness in the back of your head. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Germany, Jews.
Look out. Danger.
These
Danger.
these
Will
different
Robinson.
things have,
Yeah.
some sort of magnetic repellence or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's
But as far as the sushi question, there's a lot of crossover between foods and
Okay.
and cultural things.
Right.
So
is sushi big in China? Do you know? I'm kind of just.
I don't know. I don't. I think sushi's big everywhere now because it's just
that's
good.
true.
But especially where you can get it, like I assume in
Right.
mainland China, like deep in the coast, then
Right.
it's not as
Yeah,
big.
yeah, it's a
but,
coast probably.
You know,
You'd be able to get it fresh.
that's just
Cool.
a speculation.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
But yeah, in Korea, like everybody loves sushi.
Right. I like sushi.
Yeah, and it came to America.
We should go to that.
As
We should
well.
go to that. There's a sushi place that just opened in Saratoga.
Mm.
Or I don't know if it just opened. It just got I don't know. I went there. It was really good. It was
Yeah, yeah. It's all you can eat, right?
It's all you can eat sushi.
Yeah, we gotta hit that up.
Yeah. They had some like crazy things. I got like a yummy roll. It had like crunchy stuff and then like this weird sauce.
See,
I usually
avoid that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it was like very pretty looking. It came on like a different plate.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff. It's got like drizzle.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell if it was spicier or if it was spicy or if it was sweet. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm tasting.
Right. It's like a sweet and sour.
But
sauce.
yeah, it wasn't very traditional, like, But I got some sashimi.
Right.
Or
well,
sushi.
yeah, we usually just get we get more of the sashimi just because it's like more fish. Like,
yeah, you're there for the
paying
fish.
for all that rice and the taste of the sauce, but like
crunchy stuff.
What
is the
the good stuff is the fish.
Yeah.
But a roll is always good. Usually I get more of the rolls, and EJ just eats the straight fish.
Right.
But
I like it. I like the fish with the rice, like sashimi, right?
That's sushi.
That's sushi.
Sushi is the rice with the. You saw Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah.
It's just the rice with the piece of fish on top. That's sushi.
And then sashimi is
just the fish.
Just the fish.
Yeah.
Okay, then I like sushi.
Yeah. But then I guess when it's
is there a different word for like rolls and stuff?
Yeah, there is, but I don't know what it is. It's
sushi.
Well, I know the seaweed is called kim in Korean.
Oh.
So I think it might be
like kimchi.
Yeah, I don't.
Cool.
But
okay, so but we were talking about like recipes versus improv.
Right.
Cooking.
That's where we left off.
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah. What do you think of? When you think of cooking, do you think of it as an art? Because I mean, obviously,
yes,
I would say it can be an art, or it is for you can be an artist with your cooking. But if you're would you say? I don't really know how to put it.
Well, I would. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it's like a very practical art. Like, on one hand, it's clearly an art. Like, there's presentation to it, there's nuance, there's flavors, and you could think of it like a painting or whatever. But it's also practical. Like it's almost the most practical thing you can think of is like eating.
Right. Yeah. How do you get the stuff around you into your face in a healthy way?
How do you survive? You cook and eat.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when I cook, it leans towards more practical, and sometimes it leans towards more art.
Right.
And I guess it depends on.
Right.
Usually it depends on like who I'm eating with. If it's just myself, it's more the practical side. I'll just make whatever, and it doesn't even have to taste that good. It just has to be good enough to eat. And it's like, it's more just sustenance, and obviously it's enjoyable, but I wouldn't think of that as like an art. It's more of just like, I'm not like, ooh, let's experiment and like, what am I feeling? It's more just like, put some of this, some of that.
Garlic.
It's a meal,
Yeah.
But
good. Yeah.
But whenever I'm eating like with EJ or with other people, having people over, then it's definitely an art. You got to worry about the whole, table setting and the different types of side dishes or like condiments.
Yeah, you got to kind of plan for your audience too.
Right.
It's kind of like we got a vegetarian here. I got to make sure there's something really good that they're gonna like.
Yeah, right. That's.
I think that happened at
tough.
That I made Thanksgiving dinner for like my friends at school last year, and I think I was like, what are the vegetarians gonna want? Like, I don't know. So I had to like plan that out. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but for the people at home, I've been doing like a big Thanksgiving meal for the past, what is it, 8 years, I think? I think this will be the eighth annual Thanksgiving feast with my college friends.
Right.
So, we have like,
That's awesome.
15 people over at least, and cook a couple turkeys and, every side dish you can think of pretty much. And so that's like, it's like art, but it's also like an engineering project because you have to like schedule out each time slot, and you have to keep track of your resources, like your pots and pans, and like
Yeah, you
who's
have
responsible
you have
for
a,
what.
like, a bigger scale than I've ever. I mean,
Right.
I really
Especially-
only actually this past year is the only year I've really done my own Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
Like,
And the
that
bigger
that I was in charge of.
the bigger it gets, the harder it is to have that personal touch and to have the art side of it, and it becomes more of just like systematized. Like we got to get this rolled out, and that's why mass-produced food is rarely as good as like single dish.
Oh, right, interesting
Stuff. It's because like
you lose the
you need to structure it. You need to have consistency, and with that, you got to lock the variables in place. So it's like, if one of them's off, I guess then it won't be as good. But yeah, we have it scheduled out from the day before. Like I use Google Calendar, and I just like lay out like, okay, this is going to be in the oven. Okay, we're going to be cooking this from this period to this period.
Right.
And then so I know, okay, now I'm supposed to be starting it. Pull up the recipe.
Dang.
Get all those ingredients.
You're much
together,
more systematic like that than I am.
Well, you have to be.
Yeah, I guess with that scale,
we
you have
make,
to be, or
like,
you'll just fail.
Like we make every possible side dish that you've ever had at Thanksgiving. I bet we made it. You know what I mean? It's like acorn squash and zucchini. And
I didn't go that hard.
Sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, everything.
I did. I
made like 3 types of gravy.
I wish I had more photos. I feel like I have like 2 photos from Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I made turkey. I made mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. I made those little onions. I'm never doing that again. They were delicious. I love them.
Those are tough.
They suck. You can't peel them. You got to peel each one.
Yeah.
It takes as long as peeling a full onion.
Yep.
They're like this big.
I know,
So the volume of surface area is just garbage.
Yeah. I made them this past year, and they actually turned out really good, but that took a huge
they
chunk
were
of
they
time.
were great,
like
but it took me like I think I called you
things.
or I think I called one of my friends. Like I was video chatting while I was
what
doing
to help me?
No,
like, hey, can you peel
like,
some onions?
Let me just stick it through the webcam. No,
send it in the mail. It'll get here in time.
be quicker. Amazon Prime. No, but it was just like I like called somebody while I was doing it because I'm like I'm gonna go insane if I don't like do something while I'm peeling these freaking onions. Because you can't really like with normal onions you kind of cut the end off and then the outer layer comes off easier because it's ripped. But with those you can't really because they're so tiny. The end you just cut like the little tiniest bit off. If you cut any more, it's half gone.
That'll be the next thing for like Amazon services. You know how they have like Amazon Fresh and Amazon cleaning services?
Right.
Well, it'll be like Amazon sous chef, and it'll be like they prepare the food at their massive
Blue
kitchen,
Apron.
and then they bring it to you already prepared. So you're like, all right, in 1 hour I need 100
diced potatoes, quarter inch.
right, boom, boom, and then in an hour it shows
and
you
then
that
a
your
drone.
dough is all prepared. right. Wouldn't that be awesome though?
That'd be pretty dope.
Like that would be sick.
Like, or it's not even they ship it to you like cooked. It's like they send a drone over, and then you're like, here's your cutting board. You like set it up. You're like, there's potatoes, there's the stuff. Here's the knife, and then you take it.
Oh, like a robot?
Yeah.
I don't think we're not there yet, but
couple years we'll make it.
Maybe some
Elon Musk, come on, hit me up, call me.
Maybe some like underpaid Mexican worker will come and like peel your onions in the corner and like make minimum wage.
Oh, that'd be such a bummer.
Yeah.
In a way, though, no, that'd be a bummer.
I mean, that's what he'd be doing in a restaurant someplace. So
true.
It's just a little more visceral when he's like in your kitchen,
like sad, like.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a bummer. But yeah.
So it would be helpful.
It would be helpful.
If you could just hire like.
I mean, you could always tip him.
Extra cooking
I guess it's
hands.
better than you can be nice to him and
exactly.
tip him.
More
give
personalized.
Give him some potatoes.
Personalized service.
You can invite him. That'd be cool. It's like if you need friends. You have Amazon like
That's
send
the next
you
service.
Some, like,
Amazon
Mexican.
Friends service. You can order friends.
They
1
order
hour
friends,
delivery.
1 hour delivery. They do some work for you, and then that's why you like them.
They just be nice to you.
Well, no, but if they do work for you, you'll be more likely to. Yeah, careful there, bud. I should have warned you. I was gonna tell you, but
I was over.
yeah, I'll pour some more. I'm gonna. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that stuff is
again.
good, dude.
I know it's really good. No, they ship you. They like send a person over, and then they do something for you, so you have a reason to like them. And that, you know what I mean? Like if somebody helps you cook, you're gonna be a lot more likely to be like, yeah, eat some of my food. If they just send you a person, then you gotta like feed them. You're
No,
like,
then
what's
you're
this
gonna
all
feel
about?
bad. You're gonna be like, I just made you work, and now you gotta.
No, they're
just, like,
getting
go home.
that your payment. No, don't send them home. They're hungry.
Oh.
They're only getting minimum wage.
What is it? I feel like
Dystopian future
I feel
we've
like
created.
I've seen. I don't know if this was in a movie or in real life, but I feel like I've seen a documentary where, like, you go to this cafe in Japan, and of course it's in Japan.
Some leaves in my mouth.
They have all the crazy ideas there.
Yeah.
And
Like
there's
fish,
just people
uncooked.
that will like hang out with you, or no, I think it's like girls. Like it's like.
Oh, it's like,
It's almost like they're prostitutes. Like it would feel like that. Like you
but
go
it's
to
like
the lounge.
it's like
But
you
there's
got
no
friend zone.
There's no sexual thing. It's just like you're sitting on the couch talking to girls, and they're like, "Hey, you're so handsome" and stuff. And it's like,
That's weird.
yeah, it is
That's
weird.
really weird.
It's just like,
It's like that thing with, well, it's not really the same, but it's like the thing, I think you said EJ watched it, where they like, they read, or they don't read, they like eat, you can like eat with them, like they like stream themselves eating.
right. That's really popular now.
Yeah,
Like
that's
even
huge.
in America.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
There's some name. I think, is it Japanese?
I should know. Yeah, EJ watches it sometimes. But yeah, it's all over YouTube. Is like people who eat their food and talk
Right.
about their lives. Like it could
Yeah,
be
they're
just
like
us,
vlogging.
Like
Well, that's kind of what we're doing.
yeah, it's similar.
Watch us drink tea.
What is the name of that?
Yeah, do it.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really weird. I mean, it's not. It's in some ways it's not that weird.
yeah, it's cool. It's like
But there was some, I don't know where I heard it from, but like there was something where like it became like a compulsion. What-
Mukbang.
Mukbang.
It's called mukbang.
Mukbang.
Mukbang. If you want to
Mukbang.
look it up in
Yeah,
English.
look it up.
But yeah, it's basically and some people. There's this one guy that she watches occasionally,
Right.
who he'll just buy like an immense amount of food. You know, he like works out and everything. He's really ripped, but he'll buy like 30 packs of shin ramen and just eat them all in one meal. And you can watch him do it.
It's like epic mealtime, but like on Twitch.
Yeah, but Epic Mealtime is more just like nasty food, and a lot of it. This is
Nasty
just
good.
like a lot of it, whatever it is.
It's not like,
Like this episode, spaghetti and meatballs, a lot of it. Like he just eats like a whole table full.
Yeah.
Of stuff. And he's just like inhaling this food. You're like, whoa, dude,
Whoa.
that is a different type of creature than me.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. So that's relative to us because I've always been kind of reserved about my eating. Like I can go for a while without eating, and
Mhm.
I don't eat a lot, and I eat pretty slow. So, and I think when you eat slow, you tend to eat less.
Right, because
So
your stomach realizes that you're eating, and then it's like, hold up, I think I'm good.
Right.
If you eat really quick, you're just like,
yeah.
stomach's like, oh, there's some.
It
Oh
doesn't
God,
have-
this is more food than I thought. Ah!
Right. Stop.
What are you doing? Oh no!
Oh, it's too late. Oh.
Oh man, I'm full.
Yeah. Right. But like, I realized like in the past when I've worked out, the reason I haven't gained muscle is because I haven't been eating enough.
Right.
Like you have to fuel. You have to eat more.
Oh,
calories
you got to
than
eat a
you're burning,
lot. Yeah.
And that's like the
I've
biggest
been eating
mistake.
way more than I normally do, and I still think I'm not eating. Like I was looking into it, and it was like, the diet that I'm trying to get to is like 3,000 calories a day,
Uh-huh.
which is like that's a fair bit.
Right.
I don't think I've hit that every day. I think maybe there have been a couple days I've hit that in the last like month.
Right.
When I was really tracking it, the first like week and a half, I was really tracking everything I ate, and I hit it like I hit it a couple times. I got close to it, but I really had to like try.
Yeah.
So now that I'm not tracking it, I probably am like 2,400 calories.
Right. And it's really a lot of work because it's like
That's what everybody says. Like
the time
yeah,
is the biggest thing.
that's
It's like,
that's what everybody says. Like you can see these interviews with like a good demonstration of it is like with actors or with bodybuilders because they need to go from like, they need to like get jacked.
it's like my
in,
full time job
a
is eating food
Yeah,
and working out
they say that.
occasionally.
They're like working out is like that's like 10% of it. Like
Yeah, your
90%
time.
of it is
Right.
like the difficulty comes in just I have to eat 6 meals today, and they're all like full size meals. I
Right.
just have to eat twice as much food. I have to eat 4,500 calories every day.
That's insane.
That's the diet plan I'm on.
Right.
Like the Rock, whenever he's like getting in shape for a movie, he eats like 6,000 calories a day.
That's crazy.
I saw a video, some like regular dude, he's fit, but he tried the Rock's diet for a day, and he was like, by the end, he was like, eating his meals took so long they were running into each other.
Yeah.
So like he couldn't eat the last meal. He was like
Well, because
he's like
you
6
have to
meals in.
digest.
Yeah.
And like I was reading, like I was curious because the other day I was gonna work out after I had a meal, and I was like, how long are you supposed to wait? And it said like 3 hours. And I was like, crap, I can't wait that long. But imagine these guys. Well, yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, I think I waited like an hour and it was fine. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's really. I mean, I did that yesterday. We worked out. I'd eaten like a half hour before.
that's true.
And I ate a fair bit.
But like that must be difficult. Like imagine all that food in your body, and then you got to work out. It's
well,
like,
what he does is
extra stress.
he wakes up at like 4:30 in the morning, goes for a run, goes home, weightlifts for like an hour and a half. Cause he's got his own gym. He's the Rock. He like has like 16 houses, and they're all billions of dollars. But so he does everything in the morning. I mean, I'm sure he works out in the evening too, or something. But that was like I don't know. This video was so funny because this guy was like, he was like trying to eat. He was like, oh, another of these meals. He's like, this fish is so dry. He's just like eating it. He's just like hating his life. In the last meal, like he was supposed to eat the last couple of meals, he was supposed to eat like an hour and a half apart. And like the 5th meal of his day, he's like, it took me an hour and a half to eat. So now as soon as I'm done with this meal, I'm scheduled to eat my next meal. He's like, I can't do that.
I can't do that.
I'm full. Like,
yeah, right.
but it's like, it's
like,
but
how long after you eat can you eat? Like, what's the recommended?
It's like,
at least a minute. Just continuous eating.
Just
like,
eat the entire day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, because it also depends on what you eat. Like, because he's eating like brown rice, chicken, broccoli. That's like one of the main things. And then he eats fish and asparagus and brown rice.
Right.
And then he eats a bunch of oatmeal and a bunch of eggs. That's like the breakfast. There's like,
and that's like the ultimate in what I was talking about before, like the practical side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there is no art involved there.
No.
It's pure, here's the nutrients I need. Here's the meals that can incorporate them.
Here are the Tupperware boxes I'm putting them in,
Right,
chicken, eggs, boxes.
Right, and then here's the Google Calendar schedule that I made to track it all. Yeah. It's just like
here's the Amazon drone I ordered to pack it into these boxes for me.
It's just the engineering challenge that that it is to make a big meal.
Here's the mass flow rate of food down my throat.
You don't want to start calculating.
You don't want. There are other mass flow rates you could deal with there.
Oh,
you
yeah,
careful.
right. It's, inversely proportional.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, but what I've noticed is like, I mean, I've been more consistent about trying to eat more.
Yeah.
And I definitely, I think I've naturally, now I am eating more, and it's not like difficult. It would be like at the beginning of the summer even, because I kind of started like thinking about this more like maybe a month and a half ago. I mean, we talked about it then, but I naturally, now I'm like, oh, I already had dinner, but I'm still awake for a couple hours. Why don't I go grab a bowl of yogurt and put some almonds in it and, throw some peanut butter in there. Right. That's a fair bit of, it's a decent amount of food.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't have eaten before. It would have been like,
right.
I already ate dinner.
That's the thing, is the biggest difference is I used to eat when I was hungry. Like, I'm hungry and it's, around mealtime, so I'll have a meal or I'll have a snack if it's not.
Or even you won't. You'll be like, I'm hungry, but I don't have a chance to eat a meal. Like, I'm doing something.
I'm busy, or it's not mealtime.
Actually,
so
I'm hungry right now. Once we're done with this, I'm going to go eat a lot of food.
Right. So it's kind of been like, oh, I'm not full. It's time to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I have an opportunity to put something in my body.
Yeah, there's a vacancy there.
Yeah. And now my appetite has increased just by eating bigger meals and eating more often. It's like, oh, I'm hungry now, and I'm
right.
It's not.
Let me get something
time.
in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how it goes, because we've been working out like occasionally. We haven't been working out like super.
Yeah,
hard.
I haven't been doing
going
like
to the gym at least once a week, which is like that's pretty shameful for the people who like work out every day. But I mean. I work to my max, so, and I'm sore for a couple days, so it's like, I'm not dogging it, as Tony Horton would say, but
so
hopefully it's doing something.
I feel like I've been more consistent than I have been like
intense.
Yeah.
Well, that's important.
I've been doing more like I'll do a couple sets of push-ups and pull-ups, and then
Right. Yeah, you've been doing it
do
differently.
like stretches. Yeah, I haven't been
Every
doing
day?
like.
Do you do that every day or alternate?
I've been trying to do it every day, or alternating.
Alternating,
There was like a couple weeks back. Well, my cows were hurting, and I didn't want to mess them up before we hiked
Sure.
Mount Marcy. But so I haven't run in the last like week or so. But now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna run more. I might run tomorrow morning.
Well, it's like you always say, like the best workout is the one that you'll actually do.
Yeah.
So I think that's
with everything. Though.
what we're getting better at is like.
Yeah, I'm getting. It's
I can
more
actually commit to going to the gym once a week.
Right.
Like I can find
Right.
one day a week to go, and that is so much better than never going.
than
at all.
going and being than going one time a month and being like, oh, that was so hard. I'll have to do that hard again. Like
Right,
no,
right.
just go and do a little, or just
Right,
just do
right.
some push-ups.
Right. Yeah.
That's better than thinking about going to the
Yeah.
gym. Is
See, I
do
think-
40 push-ups
Right.
and do 10 pull-ups,
I think
and then that's better than being like, I should really get to the gym this week. So,
Right. And just feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
I think I have trouble with that because I like going very hard, like very intense. So like if I just am like, okay, let's do 10 push-ups, then it's like that doesn't count. Like
well, yeah,
like,
a lot
if-
of it is accepting the fact that like that's good.
Right.
Just being like, dude, I did 10 push-ups. Sweet, man.
right, like accepting that
Like,
a little bit.
that's
is
better
than
than I
nothing.
just did something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird mindset to have. I'm not really like that normally, but
Right.
I think I've practiced it.
Yeah,
a
I
little bit.
gotta like
I'm getting a little
gotta
better.
work on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. It's
Yeah,
cool,
cool
cool way
it's
to
good though.
look
It's
at
good
it.
though.
So as far as cooking in the future, like what are you
Hoverboards.
cooking on hoverboards, flying cars? No. Like what are your goals with cooking or like plans like for the semester, for instance? Like
Right.
what are you
Well, I
planning on
want to
doing?
do more. Like you said, when you're cooking for yourself. Yeah, I think we're like an hour in. Does it say how long? It says about an hour ago. I don't know. I actually
sounds
have
good
it
to
on
me.
here. I can check.
I'm just
An hour and 5 minutes.
Anybody sits.
I mean, this says about an hour ago too, so that's real helpful.
Anybody listening to us? Hello. Yes, this will be on YouTube, so we'll post it on our Casting Roll channel, and we'll have better audio this time. So that's great.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I might put it on SoundCloud too. We'll see.
Right.
But-
What
Yeah,
else
anyway.
though?
Where are we
Oh,
going?
cooking in the future.
Not that kind of future. Like,
Yeah, but
like I
like-
mean, like this semester. Like,
Right. So I wanted to do, but you were saying like when you're cooking for yourself, it's
Yeah.
just like chicken and broccoli and brown rice. If you're trying to be
Right,
healthy,
right.
Or if it's not, then it's like chicken and broccoli and then a box of Oreos afterwards. That's my thing. It's like when I cook food, I'm like, oh, this is so healthy, and then I'm like, why don't I go eat half a pint of ice cream? Like, yeah. But I think I'd like to try and do more cooking like for people, like have people, because I have a
Yeah.
better apartment set up too this
Mhm.
semester for like actually having people around.
Right.
So have like people come over and I'll be like, I'm making food.
Yeah.
Eat some of my food. Tell me what you think.
Right.
And then it gives you more of a incentive to actually like try
Yeah.
and to kind of like make it look nice and make sure you cook it right. Make sure you have enough.
It makes it
and,
more enjoyable overall.
yeah, and you can be like, "What do you guys want to eat?" And they'll be like, you take some input, figure out what people want,
right.
or
And it's
Yeah.
just like an excuse to hang out when otherwise you'd just be like watching TV or,
Right.
doing nothing while you eat. Like,
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, I can hang out with people.
Yeah.
Like for me and
save some
EJ,
money from Chipotle.
Dinner time is like one of our best times to socialize because we're
Right.
busy
You're
during
both
the
pretty
day
bu-
with
yeah.
school and work. And it's like when we're eating, we're both not doing anything. So we sit down and have a nice meal. And it's
Right.
like, it's the way to go because we always eat at home because in New York, like I don't have a job right now. So I'm living off of her salary.
Right.
And I'm a student. So I'm going into debt anyway. So it's like we don't have the kind of extra money to be going out to New York City restaurants,
Yeah, right.
We'll get dollar pizza occasionally, which is amazing, but for the price at least. But anyway, cooking at home is like it takes a lot of time, but it's also has a good purpose of that social interaction.
Mhm,
So like,
mhm.
yeah, we get a lot of fun out of that. And
Yeah.
like whenever we have people over, we make a whole
Yeah.
crap ton of stuff.
Well, that's part of the reason I've been asking about Korean food, because I want to like.
yeah.
I love that how it's like so many bowls of stuff.
Right. You know what? That reminds
And
me.
you can just make a ton of each of it, and then I like that you can just take it out. And
Yeah.
eat
Well,
it
it'd be
tomorrow
cool
or
to
whatever.
have that in American food. Like,
Right.
what? Like, could you
Do a little
do
thing
an
of
American
meatballs.
setup like that? With like, what would American side dishes be? Like, a
French
little
fries,
mac
sweet
and
potato fries,
cheese.
onion
I mean,
rings.
like, I don't know
Yeah.
if it would work.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Prob-
the thing
probably
is with
wouldn't
with American food, I feel like American food is because it seems like Korean food is very like concentrated, like it's like super salty. Like if you just ate like some of this side dish thing, you'd be like,
so that'd be a good example. You make like regular food, but like make it super salty and only make a little bit of it. Like make super salty mac and cheese and eat it with.
what are you gonna put it on though? There's no rice equivalent. You want to
make
put it on rice?
Put it on rice.
Mac and cheese on rice though? Pasta on
I'm down.
rice. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but it's like a
Pasta.
it's like a
on
pasta
rice.
sandwich. Like like
I
you
guess-
can't
oh,
really.
wait, it is pasta. What am I thinking? I was like, pasta on rice is insane, but mac and cheese.
Well,
on
macaroni
rice,
and cheese.
That's all.
It's salty. No, it's just all carbs.
Oh gosh.
What else though? You could do like
That probably totally wouldn't.
super
work at all.
salty meatballs. It's hard to like condense these things though. Like condensed meatballs.
It's just different. It's just different.
Just different. Filet mignon.
Sure.
Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah, I mean, so EJ was away for about 6 weeks this past
Okay.
summer because she was at an architecture camp. And so I had to like cook for myself.
Right.
And so that shifted me back into practical mode where I was just cooking like, just like steam a bunch of broccoli and make a crap load of chicken thighs or whatever.
Right.
And just, pretty easy to make and you can make a lot of food.
Yeah.
And then just dump hot sauce on it and just
Yeah.
taste good.
Yeah.
you
Hot
know?
sauce is like the great.
Like
yeah.
you don't need to care about
makes
the
practical
seasoning.
food seem like homey.
Homey.
Gives it a soul. Not homey, but
Backwards
like
cap and everything.
homey.
Homie, yeah.
The little homies.
Hot sauce is my homie. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
that was what I would do. Like the way I cook chicken is I just put it in a pan with some onions and like a little bit of water. Not enough to cover the chicken, but just to like
Yeah,
sit in
water.
the bottom and kind of like steam it.
Mm.
So then it makes a very
You cover it?
moist chicken. Then I
Yeah.
cover it.
Oh.
And you don't have to.
I feel like I do that
you-
with
you
butter.
have to hardly even
I just
look
use
at
a
it.
ton of maybe not butter. Olive
No,
oil.
because butter burns. So you have
tastes
to.
good though.
Well, I mean,
It kind of steams.
yeah, it's just a different type of.
I usually just stick
type
with
of thing.
rosemary. Rosemary and chicken is like the best combo.
That's good, yeah.
But sometimes you get little rosemary leaves and then you're like eating them and you're like, this isn't. I didn't mean to eat that part.
Like grass, like
Yeah.
pine needles.
Yeah, it's like pine needles. Rosemary needles.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's
Yeah, I mean,
this fair bit of discussion.
it's pretty darn
I'm
good.
gonna go in a little bit anyway. So.
Yeah. Got a little teaching, cooking knowledge.
Cooking background for us.
Yeah.
You guys can all go check out Josiah Eats Food now. It'll be good.
Yeah, check out our YouTube channel. We got
Yeah.
cooking. You can learn how to cook seared steak. What else we got on there? Macaroons. That
macaroons.
recipe is actually good.
Yeah, that was dope. What's the Spanish one?
Alfajores.
Alfajores.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. They're not even. It's not even the right recipe. I didn't even make it right. After.
But you can make it and it tastes.
You can make. It was great. It tasted great, but it wasn't right. I was supposed to use dulce de leche. I don't even know what that is, but it has leche in it,
It's
and
like
I know that's
sweet
milk. It's like it's like a sweet milk stuff. I don't know. And instead I use sweetened condensed milk. So it's basically like 2 cookie patties with like sandwiched with some condensed milk in the middle. But it
like
tasted great. It was delicious.
It's like a Spanish Oreo.
Yeah,
that's
but like
white
not.
and not
It wasn't really
chocolate.
Spanish.
Okay, it's nothing
The only
like
reason
that.
it made it Spanish was it was for Spanish class,
And it was in Spanish.
and everything I said in the video was Spanish.
Yeah. So if you want to hear 12-year-old Josiah speaking Spanish, then I mean, who doesn't, right?
Everybody.
All right, guys.
Everybody doesn't.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Martuscello Audio Show.
Episode 1.
Peace out.